Right, we're live. Okay, just got to post this link back into Patreon. It's about the 15th one. Right, so we want to go publish now. Boom. Oh, a live stream. Whoa. Ah, right, so that needs... where's the link gone? How do I find the link for going live once I'm live? No, that ain't gonna work. Edit that one. Not yet. Ah, there we go. Bosh. Need that. We need that. Hang on, people. Hang on. Put that one in. Done. Right.
There's no sound on your pod thing.
Yeah, I know. I've been on about the third one trying to get it fixed now.
You farted.
I haven't. I'm live, by the way.
Oh, no one can hear us anyway.
Yeah. See if anyone turns up. What a nightmare.
There's just no volume at all.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, how are you, man? Sorry about this, pal. I really do apologize. It's Mrs. Teapot. Came up to tell me there's no volume. I'm aware, dear. Thank you. Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm so sorry about that. Right, dear. Cheers. Bye.
Nobody can hear you though. You're talking to them. Nobody can hear you.
They can all hear me. I can hear you. There's a new link. If you go on the Patreon page, I've got to tell the wife, sorry. If you go on the Patreon page, there's another link, the third one. All right, I better get to it because I've been really patient. So sorry, people. How you all doing? I was trying to be all posh. I had a GoPro set up as a webcam. I had my external mic to make sure I had really good sound. I've redone the office with lighting and it all put itself. So never mind. Wow, probably lost most people there, but I really appreciate you all coming back, those that we have. Who do we have? Brian Tucker. How you doing, Brian? Brian Longimanis. How are you, brother? Matty Ward, I can hear you. Johnny Hackinson. Thank you very much for sticking with me, Johnny. Who else do we have here? Stephen Spencer. Hiya! Brian Tucker. Yeah, again. Ray McIver. How you doing? Kevin Dodds. 24 Charlie. What a tool. I totally agree. Paul Chris, woohoo, well done. Jason Robbins, don't know the what I know, mate. Tell me about it. I'm getting it in the year later. Peace, Rob, Blitzer 109. How are we getting there? How we are getting there? Yes, mate, we are. Thankfully. Alistair Christie, yay, how we doing? Sam Benson. Who else do we have? David Clofton, don't know what's better, with or without sound. Very good. Yes, Trevor, take 16. Wow, it's been a bit stressful, I've got to admit. But anyway, right, so what are we going to do with this then? How did you find the last one? What would you do different from the last one that we did? Somebody let me know. 24 Char, oh, it's Simo and Helen, how are you, man? I keep forgetting you changed your username. And breathe, absolutely. Can calm down now. Yeah, what did you enjoy about the last one that we did? What did you not enjoy about it? How do you want to do it different this time? Or just keep going the same? Whilst you're sorting that out amongst yourselves, I'm going to have a beer. Has everyone got a tipple of choice? Going with pedigree ale. I wouldn't go to work again when you do one. What's that? Good, thanks. Slange to everybody. Oh, and Rebecca's with Alistair. How are you guys? You all right? Yeah, well, I think for the meantime, what will we do? Well, I've got a vid coming out this week. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with the comments. Get TMF to show you how to do it properly. I know TMF had a few nightmares when he first started doing it. All the gear, no idea. Yeah, tell me about it. I was testing this all, and it all worked absolutely fine. I use this when I do my Zoom calls, and it all works fine there, but for some reason it's not working on YouTube. Helen asks how the fitness is coming on. It was going really well, but last week I was out the door just trying to. What vid was I doing? I think it was one of the last ones of the Canary vids, and those tour vids just swallow your time. So I was kind of up against it, trying to get them done in time, and I had. Oh, that's right. I had the new K3 from Innov sent, and I was trying to get that installed and tested so I could do a review. As it was, there's been a few issues which we can chat about if you like. So there's a delay on that vid coming out because the testing's thrown up a few issues, a few firmware issues, which they're sorting out as we speak. But yeah, so basically in the last 2 weeks, I think I've trained once, maybe twice. So tomorrow I'm back to it. Nikki Smart, that's better husband. Thank you very much, dear. The wife is always watching. The fitness, not really been doing too much of late, but it was going fantastic. I was religiously sticking to it. So if you follow on Instagram, on the stories, basically every day was pictures of me sweating in the garage. That's all that was that if you didn't know, I was training every day and I was tagging lots of other people, and we were all sort of just keeping ourselves accountable, because it's easy just to roll over in the bed or decide, I'm not going to train in it. But when you kind of think, there's other people out there they're out training and they're tagging, and it sort of spurs you on. So it was working. How's your TV career going? It's still not started. The show, I think we're due to start filming around April or May. So that's not started yet. They're still doing the Adventure Bike TV series. They're filming that because that has to be, I think that's got to be edited and live on Amazon by June, whereas our one, the Motorbike TV show, that doesn't go live till August. So obviously the Adventure Bike TV takes precedence. What's the price going to be on the K3? I think from what I saw, it's on the Innov website now. I think it's around about it's about 300 quid. I think. I'll tell you right now, and I've already fed this back to Innov. If you're thinking about the K5 or the K3 and you're waiting to see about the K3, my opinion right now is go for the K5. I know K5's a big chunky camera at the front, but I've had to take the K5 off, put the K3 on, take the K3 off, put the K5 on, take the K5 off. I've done that so many times over the last week or two, just because of the issues with the K3, and I had to test things with the K5. The K5 is a piece of pee to install. It really is so easy to install, and the footage, when you compare it, it's just so much better. And the key for me is the Wi-Fi. The K5 has really fast Wi-Fi, and that makes the app so much easier to use. It's just so much more user-friendly. One of the issues that has been thrown up in my testing is that it seems some K3 units have really slow Wi-Fi and others don't. So I don't know what the actual proper speed of the K3 Wi-Fi is supposed to be, because the one I have is incredibly slow. Like it was taking me 17 minutes to get to about 38% of a 3-minute file download, which is insane, because the K5 would download that in about 40 seconds, I think. So, there's lots of issues that have been thrown up, but for me, between the K5 and the K3, I'd go K5, definitely. And before I got my hands on the K3, I was like, K3 is going to be the answer, but I would go K5. Right, so have you done the next weigh-in yet? Been smashing it for a while now. Do you know what? I weigh myself every week, but I really haven't been weighing. I haven't lost much weight at all. I've definitely trimmed up, but I haven't lost much weight. I think I'm about 1912 at the moment, 1911, something like that. That's some serious COVID protection helmet behind you. This one. That's seen many a story, I'll tell you that. No usernames left. Bonsoir, sir. How are you? Everything all good? Matt Rowe, hey Brucey, I'm out on a dog walk and wanted to say, hiya. How you doing, Matt? Hope all's good with you. Chris Warren, signal problems. Chris, I had a nightmare, basically. First off, the sound didn't work, so I had to stop that stream and start another one. and then the webcam wouldn't connect, the GoPro wouldn't connect as a webcam, so I had to stop that. And we've resorted to the computer sound and the computer webcam, which seems to be working. What we got here? Rob Biggers Bignall. As of tomorrow, Rule 6 applies. So me and my Africa Twin and the missus on our GS are heading to the south coast on Tuesday. What are your plans? I am out on Tuesday, actually. Do you remember Martin Yoxel, the chap with one leg that was on the podcast? Well, we're meeting up on Tuesday, me, him and his missus, and we're just going to go for a bit of a plap. We're doing a Moto random ride somewhere, and just see how it gets on. I've got a few ideas to try and help Martin get, that leg that he wanted. Well, I think is it an Autobock leg? It's like the Bugatti Veyron of artificial legs, and we're making some headway with it. So I want to have a little chat with Martin and see what we can maybe do. And it'd be great if we could sort of throw a bit of weight behind it, if you know what I mean, and see what we can do for him. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm heading out Tuesday. I've got to go and get new tyres tomorrow. Actually, my tyres are pretty much non-existent. What have we got here? David Clockton. So you can pull your finger out and start thinking about clan meetup. Yes, absolutely, brother. Yes. Clan meetup. I don't think we can do that till we have total freedom, because I imagine, going by the last one, I think there was, a dozen, maybe 20 of us together. So plus we need the hotels and everything like that. So but we should start planning that for sure. Can't wait for that to happen. Are you going to the ABR festival? Maybe get the tractor off the road. Gaza, how are you, man? Gary Whipperman. I'm not sure, mate, to be honest. I'll be brutally honest, and this is not me playing the violin and putting the bucket out, but finances are tight at the moment, and especially because I'm now going to be traveling a lot more. Once we're allowed out on the road, then I will be out and about more, which means fuel, which means servicing. So I kind of have to pick and choose where I'm going and what I'm doing. I just don't think I'm going to have the finances for that weekend. I've got this big Scandinavian trip in September, and I've got no idea how I'm paying for that at the moment. But oh well, never mind. Fancy going for a blast tomorrow afternoon? Weather is going to be cracking. I would, but I can't because I'm out pretty much all day Tuesday, and I need the time for editing. Sorry, but we'll do it. We'll definitely do it. We can arrange stuff on the Teapot Patreon Facebook page. If you're not aware of that and you're in the clan, obviously you must be in the clan. You're on this at the moment, but there is a Facebook page that's private. It's purely for the clan members. So I'll put another link up at some point on the posts, and join that, and we can arrange our own write-ups and stuff from there. Ben Farmer, new clan member, loving your work and looking forward for the Picos dates being released. How you doing, Ben? Yes, me too. I didn't think there were going to be any Picos trips at all this year. My mind changed a little bit, maybe a month ago, but I'm not entirely sure how feasible it's going to be at the moment. If they do happen, it's going to be, well, I don't really know when I'm going to be able to squeeze them in. August, maybe? September I'm away, so that's a write-off. Maybe we might squeeze one in, possibly in October. I don't know. We'll have to see. If not this year, absolutely 100% next year, providing the wheel don't fall off again. So I hope not. What do we have here? Where were we? My wife, operator error. Thank you. Cheers. Pete English, Bruce, could you please thank everybody for buying the bus? Top effort by everybody. Thank you very much. Yes, people. The Pete, I bought two myself, actually. Mrs. Teapot, if you're still watching, I have one for you up here. If you weren't aware, people, Pete English obviously is sort of quite famous for his questions that he poses on the podcast. So someone came up with a brilliant idea. My apologies, I can't remember who it was that came up with the idea. Why don't we get all those questions together, put them on a buff, and then I can sell them, and the profits will go towards charity of our choice. So I put it to Pete, what charity did he want to go for? And he elected for Zoe's Place which is a baby's hospice up in Middlesbrough. So that's what we did. Roger, that handles all the merch over at the influencer store, he got the buff and everything done for me. I think he got 100 created. He's kept 10 back just in case there were any issues with deliveries and things like that. So we sold 90, and I'm just waiting to find out what my percentage is, because obviously I make a tiny slice off of each sale of the merch. So what would normally come to me, I'm going to send straight to the hospice. So I'm just waiting to find out how much that is. But I think we've raised a couple £100, definitely. So well done to everybody, and thank you very much for doing that. I don't know if we'll do it again. There's been a lot of people saying they missed out. So if the demand is there, we might do it again. The thing is, we have to outlay to get them printed. So you kind of have to try and figure out how many do you think we're going to sell, because you don't want to get 500 printed and only sell 10. Do you know what I mean? Right, Kevin Dodds, I know we're in lockdown, but are you coming over to the Isle of Man next year or beyond? Absolutely, Kevin. Yeah, definitely, pal. I was supposed to be going this year. I was going to meet up with Dario, Dario Leonetti that was on the podcast. I wanted to meet up with him. I was supposed to be going over anyway for the TT. We were supposed to be doing something with the motorbike TV show. That's all sort of been put on the head. Put on the head, is that the word? Yeah, put on hold for the time being, but next year, I'm there next year for the TT anyway, no matter what. Matt Ward, that beard is definitely getting bigger, mate. It's getting a bit ridiculous, isn't it? I trimmed it I trimmed my head as well. Look, proper hippie again. Need to trim the locks. Yeah, I know, mate. I need to sort that out. What do we have? Oh, the wife's chatting again. Kevin Dodds, I'll come. I loved it. They went on the steam train and trolley car. She did, actually. Mrs. Teapot loved the Isle of Man. We had a good time there. Alistair Christie, need to develop a helmet for us beardies. What do you think? You just get just get the old open face ones, don't you? Like one of these. Just get one of these. What have we got? Fingers crossed for TT22. Aye, definitely, Kevin, definitely. Missington Flyer. Andy, I'll be at the ABR Festival. Nice one. It's going to be busy, mate. I think there's so many people saying they're going this year, so it's going to be one of the first big bike festivals, I think, of freedom, isn't it? So it would be good to be there, definitely. The Southern Northerner, sounds like a plan. I'm only over in Sittingbourne, but my F850 GSA against your 1250. No problem. No worries. You're more than welcome. Mad Leprechaun, Mart. Hello. How you doing, bud? You all right? Ray McIver. Whereabouts in Scandinavia are you planning? I may be in Gavle after June till Christmas. It's not me that's organising this. It's an old friend of mine from work, ex-Bootneck. He has organised it. And I think what we're doing is we're getting the overnight ferry to Rotterdam and then riding up into Sweden, going up. No, we're going across to Finland, up through Finland into Norway, up to Nordkap, and then once we get to Nordkap, we're coming straight back down and into Sweden, and then all the way down through Sweden. It's about 60% road and 40% off-road, believe it or not. A lot of wild camping, that sort of thing. I think it's 3 weeks we're away for, nearly 3 weeks. So I can't wait for it, but I don't really know the itinerary too much about it. I think there's some big days thrown in. It's not going to be a slog. I'm on my bike, but it's not going to be an easy trip. It's going to be hard going, and I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait. I'll be filming it all as well. Ricky Smart, I'm off now. Missing Antiques Roadshow. Bye-bye, Mrs. Smart. David Clough. Is it Clough? David Cloughton. Is it Cloughton or Cloughton? Cloughton? When the world gets better, will you start your Spain tours again? Yes, mate, absolutely. Probably this year I'll tag in with the likes of Canadian Moto Tours and Linden down at Toro Adventure. I'll probably just tag in with them, I think, this year. Next year, I'll get my own ones back up and running. Matt Ward, I'm waiting for my neck buff. Great cause, top man. Yeah, they are all coming out. Roger's on it at the moment. Buffs on the TP1 shop. Yes, Ben, they were, but those are all sold out now. The Pete English ones are all sold out. Sam Benson, what is the super secret, ultra confidential, nobody else will ever guess it, mega hard password? If you don't know, ask in Patreon. Obviously, I can't say it now because although this is just for us on Patreon now, this video will go live, so I can't tell everybody. If all else fails, just apply to join, and I check everybody against my sort of current list of patrons. So I'll just admit you, if you are a patron and you've applied even without the super secret password, I'll still admit you. Robert Aitken, will you be doing a trip to Morocco next year, Bruce? That is on my bucket list. Do you know, I would love to. The Morocco trips weren't mine. The Morocco trips were Toro Adventures, and I just led one of their trips away. Obviously, if you've watched that series of vids, which is no longer public, you might not want to come away. I don't know. It was a little bit of a nightmare. It was just a nightmare, that one. They're not normally like that. I know Lyndon has refined that trip beyond recognition, and I would love to be involved with that. Andy, TMF, I think you are, well, that was public. You'd said yourself on some of the vids. You were going to be doing one, but I don't know what your plans are. I would love to do it. If Lyndon asked me to do another one, I would, absolutely. Chris Warnes, missed the boat on the bus. Yes, pal, sorry, mate. There might be more, I don't know, but at the moment, no. Rob Biggers Bignall, yeah, not to go to the Isle of Man. Don't you have a pilly lap to, oh, yeah. Got to go to the Isle of Man. Yeah, I do, don't I? I've got to do a pillion lap with Dom Herbertson from Chasing the Racing. Yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to that, believe it or not. Martin Yoxall, make sure your tyres are scrubbed by Tuesday. I will, brother, definitely. I'm looking forward to it, man. Kevin Dodds, yeah, I know of Dario. Can't say if I met him personally. Would love to meet up. Would love to meet up, please. Yes, mate. I'll post up when I'm coming to Isle of Man. I'll post up, and I'll love to meet everyone and everyone over there. Definitely. Johnny Hackinson, a wand and half moon glasses, and you can call yourself Dumbledore. I'd said Hagrid, surely. Mark Fulcher, I up my duck, smoking a pancake. Good evening from Friesland. Oh yeah, you're over in Florensville, aren't you? They say that every day is a school day. My question is, what have you learnt today? TT 2022, bud, nailed on. Fulch is the chap I'm going to the TT with. So he's very kindly he's taken over all the organising of the trip that was meant to happen this year and next year's. What have I learnt today? I have learnt today that, I've learnt today that the GoPro Hero 9 is crap as a webcam with YouTube if you have to restart your live stream. It looks like it's something that has to just be restarted completely. You kind of have to switch the camera off and switch it back on again. And the Samsung mic, for some reason, doesn't work with YouTube Live, but it works with Zoom. So technical stuff, Mark, that's what I've learned today. Will Carroll, have you started the TV filming yet? No, mate, no, not yet. We covered that earlier on, but hopefully next month or May we start filming Motorbike TV. Can't wait. The Southern Northerner, hey Bruce, calling on your Scottish knowledge. Hopefully doing the NC 500 in June. Any things I should plan in? A lot of traffic, mate, to be honest. I think the North Coast 500, when that is opened up to people, is going to be like the M25. There's so many people heading up there. Apart from that, depends what you're into. Honestly, there's so much to see up in Scotland. Not just the countryside and the sights. Excuse me. I would definitely do the run from Elandon and Castle, which is it's like the Highlander Castle. Have you seen the film Highlander? That's that castle. It's the one that's got the little bridge out into the loch, and the castle's on the wee island in the loch. I would definitely do the road from there that basically just heads north. It goes all the way north. I can't remember it. There is only one. There can be only one. That road. Do that road north is stunning. And then all the way up the west coast of Scotland is just beautiful. Beautiful. Any time of the year is gorgeous. David Cloughton. Second one, Cloughton. So it's Cloughton, not Cloughton, right? Sam Benson. That makes perfect sense. No problem, just applied. Excellent. Cheers, Sam. That's the Patreon Facebook page, isn't it? Patreon only Facebook page. When this is done, I'll get on there and admit you. Mark Vaughan. Hi, Bruce. Hope things are well. What made you go for a GS over an RT? There's a few things. As much as I make a big thing about off-road, and as much as everyone thinks I hate it, I don't actually mind it that much. If it's like track stuff, I don't mind that. The proper mud and sand, I hate, but because I don't know what I'm doing. But I like the option that the GS gives you, that I can ride that across countries in relative comfort. And then if I want to just, if I do want to go down a track, I can, and it's still fairly easy. And I quite like the reputation that the GS has. The same way that I like the look I got off of people when I said I was going to do around the world on a Jigsaw. I like when you turn up at on a track day on a GS. I like the looks you get for that, especially when you start riding and people see that this bike's pretty capable. It can do some stuff here. So I like all that, and I actually like the look of it. I think it handles fantastically, as you all know. It's the best bike in the world. So for me, it's just my bike at the moment. It's my go-to, does everything bike. Having said that, if I was just road riding, I would have the Super Duke Gen 3 tomorrow, no problem. That to me is the best road bike currently available. I would have that. But anyway, Kevin Dodge, Bruce, even when you do your next NC500, please let me know. Never done it. In fact, I've never had my motorbike off the island since I passed my test. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think the problem will be with that, Kev, is that if I post up that I'm going to do something like the NC500, there'll be quite a few of us doing it, and it can be, it can kind of, it would end up just being like a big caravan of us going up there. But, if I'm just going to do one myself, I'll message you. Let me make a little note. Kevin Dodge. Bear with me 2 ticks, people. NC500. Kevin Dodge. Right, Kevin. I will do my best to drop you a line if I'm going to be doing that at some point this year. I don't know if I'm going to get up this year, but I'll see what I can do. Alistair Christie, we're going to do a Baltic Circle on our KTMs next year, restrictions willing. Nice. Baltic Circle. Is that the Arctic Circle? Or are you talking about the Baltic, the Balearic Islands, or the Arctic Circle? I hate predictive text. Anyone else finding that the new predictive text on the Apple iPhones is a nightmare? It's like hieroglyphics sometimes it gives you. Anyway, Matt Rowe, have you thought about having Moto Geo as a podcast guest? I'm in talks with them if you wanted an intro. Matt, I would, absolutely. I've dropped Jamie a couple of lines on Instagram, DMing him, and I've never had as much as a reply, mate, to be honest. I would love to have a chat with Jamie. Love his channel. I think it would be really interesting. If you wouldn't mind, mate, that would be fantastic. You've got some connections, man, I tell you. Wow. Mad Leprechaun, have you ever sold a motorcycle and regretted it? I've never, ever sold a bike. All I've ever done is trade them in. So I've just traded them in to get another one, because I've never bought a bike outright, apart from the Beast, apart from the Jigsaw. All my other bikes have just been on the tick. So, yeah. Have I ever regretted getting rid of a bike? I regret. No, not regret. I don't regret. I miss the Tuono, even though it was an utter pig to live with. It wasn't the best handling. Well, it was a great handling bike. It wasn't reliable, and it was a pig to live with because in the cold it didn't like to start. It needs valve clearances done like every 4,000 miles. It was just a nightmare. But that engine is still one of the best sounding engines I've ever heard. Just loved it. So yeah, I missed that. But the Super Duke Gen 3, pretty much, I think that's overtaken the Tono for me now. I love the sound, I love the handling. Yeah, great. Ryan Longimanis, Matt Ward, loved the Morocco trip. Oh yeah, poor old Matt. Poor old Matt. He still has nightmares about that. David Cloughton, would love to see you, TMS, Sticky, ANS, Mr. Fish, do a podcast again. We're going to, yeah. The boys were all saying that, actually, that it's about time we did another one. I think, is TMF still on here? TMF, if you're still on here, give us a shout out. But I think TMF was talking about us maybe doing like a live stream on his channel. So I don't know. Again, it all depends on restrictions, really, doesn't it? Matt Ward, Morocco is fantastic. It was good. I told you at the time, Matt, didn't I? I said, look, you will look back on this and laugh. Sam Benson, my dad and I are taking a week travelling up to Loch Lomond from North Devon in the first week of May. Would be great to meet up with anyone along the way. Cool. Sam, just get yourself, well, I'm going to admit you into the Facebook page, but post up on there and I'm sure there'll be people that will want to meet up with you. Paul Chris, what's the tyre of choice going to be for the GS? The Tiger is needing some soon, but the 21-inch front wheel is limiting my options. Yeah, I can't get on with the 21-inch front wheel for the road riding. I just can't get on with it. Tyre-wise, it's going to be Dunlop all the way this year. Hang on, I'll tell you why. Oh, I thought it was getting dry. Excuse. Because of the Motorbike TV show, that is part sponsored by Dunlop, so they want to put us all on Dunlop tyres so we can get used to them. So I'm not going to be doing any sponsor bids or anything about Dunlop and about the tyres. They've actually said they didn't want me to review the tyres for that reason, because they want to try and, you know, I want to maintain the integrity of the channel, so I don't want that connection. But I'm going to be riding on Dunlops, so I've got a set of mutants coming on tomorrow. So yeah, find out what they're like, see what they're like. I used to love the Road Smart 3s were my tyre of choice till the Michelin Road 5s came along. And I think the Road 5s are every bit as good as the Dunlops, except the Road 5's got about 1,000 miles more for me personally. Trevor Mould, Bruce, have you ridden the road from Oban to Loch Gilphead? Yes, oh yeah, all down that. That's Argyll, isn't it? Down the southwest. Yeah, it's good. It's good down there, definitely. But I still think up that west coast north, like Applecross North, is just amazing. The Applecross Road is pretty special. The Drovers Road, that's pretty damn good. Mark Fulcher, well, at least you've learnt something. I've learnt not to buy cheap Dutch lure roll. Pokey finger situation. Yeah, I'll not ask. Johnny Atkinson, I wanted to do Nordcap last year, couldn't. Can I tag along in September? I would say yes, mate, but because this isn't my trip, I'm with other people, so I'm not going to be able to do the meetup thing. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the meetup thing. It'll all depend. You know, there's about another 6-7 lads on this trip with me, and it's not fair of me to turn it into a teapot trip, if you know what I mean. You know, I'm a guest with them, so there might be times when I can meet up with people. I don't know. We'll have to play it by ear, Johnny. I would love to, man, if we can, but it's not really my call at the moment. Southern Northerner, thanks, bud. I'll make sure I plan it in, and I'll be getting the early starts in then to beat the rush. Yeah, definitely. I do think it's going to be wacky races up in Scotland, especially that North Coast 500, because everyone knows about it now. And there aren't any other roads when you're up there, you know. It's an easy route to follow because that is the road. So I would get in quick. David Clawton, fat bikers bounce better. Well, actually they don't, because as we all know, I had a few incidences quite a few years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago, and I certainly didn't bounce. Mark Fulcher, you keep going on about the Gen 3 KTM, haven't taken an MT10 out yet. Saying that, I got rid of mine for a Suzuki. Yeah, I know. I would love to ride the MT10, but I've had quite a few mates that have had them, and I've been away on trips with them. So I'm pretty aware of how they ride, definitely. I would still say the Gen 3 is going to take it. But, you know, never say never. I've learnt that. You can have preconceived ideas, can't you? But until you actually chuck your leg over the thing and ride it, you can never be sure. Big Lad Rides, Jess, best bike in the world. XR all the way. Yeah, that just doesn't do it for me. You know, the inline 4 engine just doesn't do it for me anymore. It's weird because I love the screaming inline 4s, and they just don't do it for me anymore. Martin Yoxall, Baltic Circle is the local curry house. Alistair Christie, around the Baltic Sea, up Tortic Circle. What's that? Around the Baltic Sea and up to the up Tortic Circle. What's Tortic Circle? Not sure what that is, pal. Ollie Shaw, I wish I could watch this now properly. When will this be available to catch up on? The wife is calling me to continue packing. Ollie, this will go live next Monday, so a week tomorrow. The Sam Manicum vid goes live tomorrow, and then this will go live for the public. Well, it'll go live for the public a week tomorrow, but I'll make this live for everybody in Patreon probably Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, I would think. Maybe Friday, I'm not sure. The Southern Northerner, I'm going up June 6th, see anyone up there. Nice one. Rob Biggers Bignall, have you or anyone else been ripped off by Brittany Ferries? Credit notes given, had to rebook for September. You can only book single trips, cost me money for the return trip. No, I've not actually. I have some mates who were all booked to go away, and they've just rebooked to go later this year, I think it is. But no, I haven't heard anyone else like not getting their money or not getting their trip or anything. No, sorry, pal. Keep on at them. They're going to be inundated. They will be inundated. I do know when lockdown first hit and I had a load of trips planned and they all got cancelled, it took, I think it was about 8 to 12 weeks for the money to come back once I said I wanted the money back. So it took time, but it did come. Alistair Christie, don't predict a text up to the Arctic Circle. All right, okay. Oh, so from the Baltic Sea up to the Arctic Circle. That's a nice little ride, man. Well, not little. That's a nice ride. Nice one. Robert Aitken, looking forward to having a pint with you at the Wild Bad weekend again, Bruce. Me and 3 friends coming down from Scotland on a Thursday. Robert, I cannot wait for the Wild Bad weekend. It is such a giggle. And I think, well, it's going to be extra special, isn't it, this year, because of what we've all been through. But yeah, it's a good giggle, isn't it? I'll need to get my drinking practice in. Look, I've had 2 sips in 36 minutes. Where else were we here? Blitzer 109. My local bike shop love the Mutants for the GS. I've heard some good things about them. But tyres are really personal, aren't they? You know, it's some people love a tyre. I've chucked them on and I've just not liked them. And conversely, I've really liked a tyre and other people have said they felt like it was being on ice. You just don't know, do you? Mark, Sally and I are off to Scotland from the end of May to June the 5th. Can't wait. I will be driving my GoPro. You're going to be filming it all, Mark. The Mad Leprechaun. Mark's got a channel as well, folks. I think you just hit 200 subscribers, didn't you, Mark? Good on you, man. Good effort. Alistair Christie, yeah, Brittany Ferries can do one. Wanted £1,400 for a return trip to Santander in September. Yeah, it's part of the reason I've not organised any trips this year, because the prices went through the roof. So yeah, I'm sort of writing this year off, to be honest, in terms of Spanish trips. Brian Longimanis, keep me in mind the next time you visit the dentist. That was a great question. Brilliant. If you've not heard or watched the Sam Manicum podcast yet, Brian posed a question about, if we have flavoured condoms, why have we not come up with flavoured dentist gloves? And that took Sam and I down a whole different rabbit warren of thinking. Yeah, I never thought I'd be discussing that sort of thing with Sam Manicum. Mick's here. I'm thinking that routes around Wales might be less crowded than Scotland. Again, I know loads of people that are heading to Wales as well. Some of the WhatsApp groups that I'm part of, everyone's heading to Wales before they go to Scotland. Mark Vaughan, are you meeting up with Ricky Vegas for the Hayabusa launch? No, I've not been invited. This is really weird. Well, it's not weird. I've never been on Suzuki's good books at all for whatever reason. Their Southern sales manager is somebody I know. He follows the channel. He loves it. He's been trying to get me along. And the second it's passed to the Suzuki PR team, I've gone. They know about me because he's asked them, but they're just not interested in inviting me. So I'm doing my own groundwork there to try and get hold of Abusa. Got a couple of avenues that I'm exploring and hoping that I might be chuck my leg over one fairly soon. So watch out for that if it happens. Where were we there? Biker J, you had to choose between H2 or ZH2. I've never ridden either. I've not ridden either of them, to be perfectly honest with you. I couldn't really tell you. Chops is the one to ask. Chops has got excuse me, Chops has got the H too, hasn't he? I think he is. He's the one to ask for that. Johnny Hackinson. I've ridden both MT10 and Super Duke R. Super Duke every day, that grunt. Yeah, man, I like the closest bike for me that I've ridden so far to compete with the Super Duke is the Speed Triple R RS. That was a beautiful road bike, beautiful. But I just missed the sort of grunty nature of that big thumping twin that the KTM's got. David Clotton, have you ever thought about buying a place in Spain or renting and doing tours more? Yes, I have mentioned this to Mrs. Teapot. How do you feel about maybe moving to Spain? And she's not up for it, to be honest. I think the way things are going, we'll probably end up moving back up to Scotland once she finishes her job. So probably the next 5 to 10 years, we'll look at moving to Scotland. I don't want to get political, but I'll say one thing: if they get independence up there, I'm not moving north. So it all depends what goes on up there, to be honest. But we are thinking of a move, definitely. Probably, if not into Scotland, up to the lakes, maybe Wales, maybe Peaks, somewhere like that. I don't know. I would love to move to Spain, or at least have a place out there. But that's got to be a joint decision, and at the moment, it's not really on Nicky's radar. So, got to honour that. Stephen Gibbons, hi Bruce, how you doing, Stephen? You all right? Mick's here. In December, I took a gamble. I booked Plymouth Santander return for mid-June. Starting to get worried. Santander do not give refunds ever. Plymouth Santander return. Well, if that's with Brittany Ferries. Who's Plymouth Santander? You mean the Port Santander with Brittany Ferries? If you're talking about that, they do, because I had 4 separate ferry trips, all refunded, financially refunded, not credit notes, but the money back in my account. But it did take a while. It took quite a while to actually happen. It took 8 to 12 weeks, I think, for actually to come back into my account. Brian Tucker, if I was to visit the UK from the States and only had 5 days, where would you suggest I go, non-tourist related? If you're talking about the UK mainland, I can't really comment about like Ireland, because I don't have much personal experience over there. Northern Ireland, I only did a little bit up in the top sort of northeast corner on my trip, and Ireland itself, I've never really done that on a bike. That's something I still want to do. So for the mainland, it would be Scotland or Wales. If you've got 5 days, you could do a fair chunk of Wales. You could do quite a bit of Scotland as well. But yeah, that would be where I'd suggest, Wales or Scotland. Or, oh God, there's the lakes. The Lake Districts are just stunning. I've only had one little taste up there when the last time we did a clan ride out up there. And that is just beautiful. So, blimey. What's everyone else think? Where would you go? If you had 5 days for the UK, you're not from the UK, you had 5 days to ride, where would you go? Hang on for that then, Brian. We'll come back to you. Mad Leprechaun, I'm 5 short of 200. Anyway, you're in a posh hotel. In the room, it has a bath as well as a shower. Do you have a bath or a shower, or have a bath then a shower? I'm a shower man. I don't do baths. Don't like baths. No, not for me. My missus loves a bath. Me, no, I'm a shower. Just let me have a shower. Big Lad Rides. Brittany Ferries have pulled everyone's pants down lately. The pricing has got way out of hand. It's cheaper to send a truck through France. It is, but you also have to see it from their point of view, in that they have an entire fleet of these ferries sat doing nothing, and all those staff sat doing nothing. I kind of heard on the grapevine that they may not exist anymore at one point, and they were cutting things very fine. Looks like they've survived, but I'm sure they just want to recoup as much as they can. And yeah, they have the monopoly, don't they? Really, if you want to get to Spain from the UK, then it's Brittany Ferries. So they kind of got us over the barrel, really, at the moment. See what happens, pal. See what happens. Neil Evans, Bruce, Sticky Vegas, Lamb Chops, The Flyer, Snog, Marry, Avoid. Make your choices. Wow. Whoa. Do you know, there's none I want to avoid out of the three. All the boys are a great crack. We all have a stream. I think Dickie Vegas is the marrying kind. He's quite old-fashioned. I think Andy, Essendon Flyer, is an animal, so he'd be the fling. He would definitely be your one-nighter, because I can't believe I'm having this conversation. And Chops would be the wife. No. Chops would be the snog. There you go. How about that? Can't believe I've had that conversation. 2 for Charlie. Next here. Yeah, I've had some money and a voucher back too. Oh, all right. Yeah, so that's Simo. Yeah, me too, mate. Yeah, it was a bit of a slog, but I did get everything back from my cancelled trips with Brittany Ferries. Mark Vaughan, have you got or getting the new Ruroc? I'm tempted, but buying online only puts me off. No, I've not. No, I don't think I've burnt my bridges with Ruroc, but I didn't give them very good feedback on the Berserker. You know, the lid they did with the goggles. It's just not a practical riding lid at all. And you know, I gave them my feedback on that and said, look, I can do a vid review on it, but it's not going to be it won't be a good review. So that was that, and I haven't heard from them ever since. So I will. It does look good. I think the Rurocs are really good lids. You know, they are light, they look amazing, they're pretty unique in their styling. That magnetic chin strap that they have is so good. It is. I would love if all lids had that magnetic chin strap. The problem I have with them is they're loud, so I can cope with that with my ears because I wear earplugs. Well, normally wear earplugs anyway. But for me, when you're putting the mic up there, the audio you can't get good audio with the Ruroc because the wind noise off of the lid just comes down the mic. So I'm really lucky that through Motorbike TV, we're getting fitted out by Shui. So I've got a new Xperit there and a new Hornet there. So I'm back to wearing them now, thankfully. So I've not done a ride in them yet, actually, with all mic'd up. So that'll be interesting to see how they compare again. Where are we? Stephen Spencer, I've got a Gen 3 Super Duke R. In 4 months, it's had new forks, discs, rotor bolts, calipers, stripped and clean, new exhaust, a recall, front tyre is delaminating after 1,600 easy miles, and I still wouldn't swap it. Jeez, man, seriously, you've had all those issues? Bloody hell. Stephen, is that a common thing? Are a lot of other, Gen 3 Super Duke R owners having the same thing? That'd be interesting to know. Blimey. Stephen Spencer says, 5 days to ride, I'd go to the Isle of Man. Well, that's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, that was Brian Tucker, wasn't it, that was asking? I think it was Brian Tucker. Yeah, so that was Brian Tucker was asking. Yeah, Stephen's come up with a good point there, Brian. If with 5 days, you could go to the Isle of Man. Neil Evans, doing the lakes on the way to Scotland in May. Nice one, pal. Kevin Dodds, it says your message is retracted. Oh, I thought that said restricted. Retracted. Mark Fulcher, 5 days, starting in the Midlands, bang it up through the peaks and North Yorkshire, chuck a left into North Wales, and finish in the lakes. That's not a bad option. Yeah. So Brian, what Mark's saying there is starting in the Midlands, which is sort of Birmingham and north a little bit. You can go through the Peak. It's a place called the Peak District. That's where Richie Vida hangs about. Beautiful. If you look at our big Little Adventure series that we did, that was day one with Richie Vida, Mr. Fish and myself. That area we rode around is called the Peak District. It's beautiful. From there, you can go west into North Wales, which is gorgeous. It's all like Snowdonia and Betsy Coed and all up around there. Great riding. And then you can come back into England and head north. And before Scotland, up in the borders, you have an area called the Lake District, which is just stunningly beautiful. Lake Windermere and all these different places. So that's a good call, really good call. Ashley, right, 5 days to ride. I'd go back up the west coast of Scotland. Yeah, again, there's Scotland as well. Kevin Dodds, wouldn't know where to go in the UK. Been with a car, never bike. 24 Charlie, 5 days. I'd hit North Wales, Yorkshire Dales, Moors and Cumbria. There you go. Another vote for that. Martin Yoxall, 5 days in UK, Lakes, Peak District and Wales. Again, it's popular. I think you're getting the vibe here, Brian. Plot Racer, Wales, Derbyshire, Yorkshire Dales, Lake District, Scotland, in that order. Mad Leprechaun, Ireland, Dingle, County Kerry is a must visit. Yes, Dingle, is it famous stones or a mountain range or something up around there? Is that right? That's ringing a bell with me, Mark. Kevin Dodds, Stephen Spencer, it's Brill here for motorbikes. That's the Isle of Man. Neil Hamilton, 5 days up through North Yorkshire, over to Dumfries and Galloway, across to Northumbria. Anywhere near the North Coast 500 is nuts unless you go mid-September onwards. Gave up on it after 2013 when it got famous. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? With the North Coast 500 is because it's like the Route 66 of Scotland. Everybody is on it, and some of those roads, particularly up the top, up the North Coast 500, they're single track roads. So once you get a camper van on there, caravans, it's a nightmare. Mark Fulcher, bloody love Ireland. Get me back over for the road racing. I know. How good is it going to be when all that comes back, man? Well, I hope it all comes back. Stephen Spencer, Kevin Dodds, I've been several times. I would move there tomorrow. Is that the Isle of Man I think he's talking about? Stephen Spencer, I had a Ruroc 2.0, worst helmet I've had, even worse customer service, never again. Why is that, Stephen? What didn't you like about the Ruroc 2.0? Excuse me. I've had quite a few people say about customer service. I think when the 2.0 first came out, the demand took them by storm, really. They really got caught with their pants down when they launched the 2.0. Big Lad Rides, 5 days, head north, get away from the southeast and the Midlands. Yeah, absolutely. I would say if you're coming to the UK to experience riding a bike, don't go anywhere from London south, just Devon, down the southwest. Yes, some nice places in Devon, but there's none of the big hills and stunning scenery you'll get in Scotland and the lakes and the peaks and Wales and places like that. So I would always go sort of, as everyone said, Midlands, North, and Wales. Rob Biggers Bignall, are you going to catch up with Chase on Two Wheels, as the last podcast was excellent? I'd love to. I think Chase has started his own podcast now, I think, with, can't remember his name, one of the other American motovloggers. But yeah, I'd love to get him back on, definitely. Johnny Hackinson, a technical break back in 14 minutes. Big no worries, pal. Biker J, just wanted to say before I have to head off, I love the podcast, the health journey, obviously the videos, but I really want a Big Little Adventure part 2. Cheers, Jay. Yes, myself and Mr. Fish we have some ideas for something else. Fish has had a few health issues of late, so it's kind of put everything on the back burner, as well as COVID, obviously. But we have some ideas, so watch this space. Brian Tucker, sweet, thanks all. No worries, pal. Steve Spencer, re the Gen 3, think I've just been lucky. Did you get it? You think you got a Friday afternoon bike? I had one of them. That Triumph Explorer I bought. I loved the bike, and then after about 4 or 5 months, things started going wrong, and then it was just one thing after another. It was a proper Friday afternoon bike, that nightmare. Brian Longimanis, I'm off, Bruce, and you guys take care. Cheers, Brian. Thanks very much, buddy. You look after yourself, man. Stephen Spencer, Brian Tucker, if you're coming over, look me up on the clan page. I'll take you around the 6 passes in the Lake District if we can. Nice one. There you go, Brian. Some people do that. Get yourself onto the TeapotOne Patreon Facebook page. Let everyone know that you're coming over, and people will arrange to meet up with you, no problem. Myself included. Mad Leprechaun, Dingle Peninsula, it's like the big toe of Ireland. Okay. David Clawton, do you have to declare the thousands you make from Patreon to the tax man? Thousands. Yes, I do. you automatically pay income tax on it at source. So the income tax is already taken off you, and that is declared via Patreon to your domicile country tax office. But as far as my earnings, then yeah, that all has to go through the tax man, definitely. So I did that at the start of the year, obviously. Big lad rides. Take it easy, Bruce. Got to head off and earn the pennies to spend in your shop. Top man, cheers for that, pal. Take it easy. Mark Fulcher, what's the best mod you've put on the tractor over the winter? I think mine on the big Suzuki is my UK race support remote brake adjuster. Ooh, 2 track days booked. Best thing I've put on the tractor so far. It is a really simple thing. It's that fender extender. Anyone that's owned a GS will know, pardon me, for some unknown reason, BMW, they make the mudguard, the front mudguard, and it is too short, so all the crud gets flapped up straight up against the engine plate, which just causes all manner of hell if you don't do something about that. And then also, the rear wheel, there's nothing to stop all the crud getting flicked up against the shock. So you can get these, I got the things from Nippy Normans, which were like, geez, I think it's about 200 quid, or over 200 quid for a bit of plastic that extends the front mudguard and a bit of plastic that sticks on at the back as a rear mudguard. You can get them on Amazon or eBay, actually. You can get them on eBay for about 20 quid a pop, I think, 40 quid a pop. And I think they're pretty much the same thing. But yeah, that's probably the best. I've got to stop shoveling the desk. That's probably the best thing I've put on the bike so far that I've spent my own money on. Sorry, where was I there? Paul Yes, Cotswold will also be on my UK ride list. Cracking roads and cream teas. I'm over to the Cotswolds next month, actually. I'm doing something with the wheelie school over there. I'm looking forward to that. Steve Spencer, rear the rear rock. The visor didn't seal and the pads fell out constantly. Do you know, I have had an issue with the lining keep popping out, but I thought that because I've been taking the lining in and out all the time, like putting in my Cardo headset and changing the mics, all that sort of stuff. I thought it was me because I was pulling the lining in and out quite a lot. All right. And the visor, well, my pin lock is just falling out, so I've not worn the rear rock recently just because I can't. It's not got no pin lock. I just assumed that was me, but obviously maybe not. Steve Spencer, it went back and came back with only the clear visor sealing. Oh, this is the rear rock. Tinted seemed to fit lopsided. Sent it back again. They sent me two 1.0 helmets. What did they? Oh, the 1.0 is garbage, rubbish lid. Steve Spencer, I had to get the credit card company involved to get my money back. Oh, that's terrible, man. I hate to hear that. I'm sorry, man, because I was flying the flag for them. Well, I appreciate you letting me know, and I'll certainly pass that on to people. Sorry, dude. Mike Crispania. Hi, Bruce. How's the rowing going? Hello, Chris. How are you, man? I said right at the start, bud, that I think I've rowed once or twice over the last 2 weeks. It's just, last week was a nightmare. I was just flat out trying to get stuff done for an in-of vid. And this week has just been lacking moral fibre, to be perfectly honest. Will Carroll, love that ride in the Dingle Peninsula. Yeah, this is the one that Mark's talking about over in Ireland. Yeah, I really want to get over to Ireland and do a bit of that. So when money and time allows, I will, definitely. Mark Fulch, can you wangle me a pair of Dunlop Sport Smart 2s? Now you're a celeb. Oh, yeah, I'll just make a call. No problem. How many pairs do you need? Steve Spencer, the reply from Rurock about the issue was, it's the best we can do. That's terrible. Folks, if you have issues like that with companies that I'm saying work with, but I don't get paid for that. But if like Rurock sent me a lid and I do a review on it and I'm wearing their lids all the time, or BMW, obviously I love the GS. If you have issues with any of this stuff, then when you post stuff about it on social media, tag me in, and I've got no problem in sort of helping to to spread the word and raise the awareness of any issues that are going on. Because I want to know that companies I am promoting myself because I think they're good, I want to know that they're not treating other people the way they seem to be treating me. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So don't be feared about tagging me in and things like that. I'm not saying it's going to help, but I'll do what I can. Because at the end of the day, how a company treats me when I deal with them, in my opinion, should be no different to how they treat anybody else. Do you know? And I'm not saying that, I'm a celeb, I get treated different. But I'm not naive to think that maybe they treat me better sometimes because they're aware of the reach that the channel can have. So, I want to make sure people are accountable and the customer service is good, because I don't want to promote someone if they're not. Johnny Atkinson, have a sip of beer, your throat is getting dry. It is, pal. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's about 1,000,000 degrees with this blooming. Can you see that? Look, I've got a big old light there. My other light's given up. I don't know why that's given up. Give me 2 ticks. There we go. Mark next. Bruce, let me know where in the Cotswolds. I'm only there for a day, pal. I'm over at the Cotswolds Airport doing the wheelie school. Doing a wheelie school day, so I'll literally be riding there first thing in the morning and then riding home. So, but any other time, yeah, definitely I'll be up for meeting up and we'll go and do it. My plan has always been with Teapot since I sort of started doing the channel properly again, end of 2016-17. The plan has always been to get out and about, to begin with, around the UK. Just use social media and say, look, I'm coming to the Cotswolds on this date, or over this weekend, or on this week. Who's around? Who wants to meet up? And the idea is, I meet up with you there in your home turf. We go and ride what you think are the great roads, give them some exposure. And, we go to the bike cafes and the meetups that you use, and you can chat to me about what dealerships you use. We'll do a podcast for those that want to be involved with it. That's always been my sort of idea. And collectively, over the course of, a year, 2 years, 3 years, seasons, whatever, we can build up a really good, intricate knowledge base about the biking community here in the UK. And I can even take that, across into Europe or even globally. That's what I want to do. I wanted to go to India last year, but that got kiboshed. In parts of the States, I just want to use the platform to meet up with you over there on your home turf and get to know where you ride. And that's my idea. What do you think? Is that? I think it could be good. I think that could be, a nice little angle for the channel, because I don't want to be a bike review. I've never wanted to be a bike review or a kit review channel. That's not me. I enjoy the trips. I enjoy meeting people. I'll leave the bike reviews to other people. It doesn't float my boat, that sort of stuff. Trouble is, it gets the views, and you kind of need them at times. I've just seen something from Mark Fulcher in bold capitals. Don't go to India. He loved his time there. Mad Leprechaun, totally agree. I just refitted my fender extensions, must have on the GSA. It is, man, yeah. I'm going to fit the TFT anti-theft thing. A lot of TFTs are getting stolen. Well, I'm hearing this, Mark. I'm hearing this by the people that make the anti-theft thing. But me personally, I've not had a single person tell me they've had a screen nicked. Maybe they just not contacted me, but I don't know anyone that's had one nicked, but I'm hearing that it's an issue at the moment. But that is being told to me by the people that make these things. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being sceptical. Paul Webb, hi Bruce. Will you be attending either the ABR weekend or the Dicky Vegas weekend? It would be good to get the clan together. Yes, Paul. Already covered that earlier. I have no plans to do the ABR at the moment, sadly. But I am definitely at the Wild Bad Weekender. So I will definitely be there. I'll be at the bar, probably in a drunken heap somewhere, much like the last one. Alistair Christie, where are you, Mark Nix? We are in Gloucester. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, this is over in the Cotswolds. Pete English, 5 days. I've spent 30 years exploring North Yorkshire moors. It's bloody stunning. I'm a bit biased though. Yes, and Pete, I am coming to meet you, and you can show me up there. I'm dying to see up there. It looked amazing when Dickie came up. Dickie Vegas did a bit with you. That looked awesome. Hopefully we won't drop bikes. Blitzer 109, do what I do and make 30 minutes at lunchtime as part of your routine for some exercise. Yeah, my problem, Blitzer, is if I don't do it first thing in the morning, literally before I've eaten, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. I know what I'm like. It will not happen. So I have to do it first thing. Ben Farmer, what is the ballpark release date for the La-di-da TV show? August this year, August 2020. It has to be ready. I'm not sure what the actual date is. I just know it's August. 24 Charlie, hey Bruce, any issues with GoPro 7, 8 or the 9? Is the 9 the best so far? Funny you should mention that, Simo. There is a vid coming out this week. I don't know if you've had it, but loads of people, audio has always been an issue with GoPros. And since about the Hero 5, there's been this popping, crackling noise. You might have heard it in some of my vids. I know Fish has had issues. Richie V, in fact, everyone I know has had issues with the pop and the cackles. I've lost loads of footage. You know, some of the Canaries trip when we went to Tenerife, the audio just muted. So I would pull my hair out trying to figure out. I've used so many different mics. I've done a load of research into it, and I think I've fixed it. I think I've nailed it. So I have a vid coming out this week that is specifically on that. So far, it's been 100% fail-safe so far. So once you do what I tell you to do in this vid, I haven't had problems. I've not had problems with the sound. GoPros still have reliability issues. They still freeze. They've always done that. Mind you, so do the drifts. I think the sort of saving grace with the GoPros, the picture quality is superb. The stabilization is almost second to none. The GGI Osmo is a very, very close second. I prefer the picture quality of the GoPro to the Osmo, but it's not much. It's not far behind. The Hero 9 for me. I use the media mode, so I can plug the mic straight into the back with the camera. If you want to vlog, like talking to the camera, it's got good sound on it as well. You can put the dead cat it comes with. You can put that on. I would just go with Hero 9, to be honest. Now, I think once you do this thing, this little setting that isn't public, this little setting which isn't made clear by GoPro, once you do that for moto vlogging, it sorts the sound out. Then it's just the reliability issues, but you have that with all cameras, sadly. David Clawton, have you ever had any problems with your pack talk putting the radio on its own? Not since I turned off I don't use the voice activation thing on it. You know, when you go, hey Cardo, call such and such, or hey Cardo, turn the radio on. That's what I turned all that off. Since then, I've had no issues at all. Rob Bigger's Big Novel, give us a shout when you're down in Somerset. Myself and the missus are filming all our trips using Drift Ghost XL. Can't afford GoPros to go live in September when we have plenty of vids. Oh, cool. All right, Rob. Yeah, definitely. We're heading down that way, mate. Let's meet up. Paul Partridge, let me know if you come to Ireland. I live in Belfast. Would be great to meet up. Definitely, Paul. When the Ireland trip does happen, then I'll certainly let everyone on Patreon know. And yeah, let's meet up. Let's get it done. Blitzer 109 to David Clawton. Yes, occasionally mine misheard commands and turns on the radio. Yeah, that's when you use the voice activation thing, isn't it? That was just a pain. I would be like doing my best Proclaimers impression, singing away to a song, and it would call the missus or, call somebody. Oh, God. So yeah, I just turned the voice thing off. Tony Hannum. Hey, how you doing, Tony? Hi, Bruce. Have you got plans for a meetup this year, or are we just looking at the Wild Bad Weekender this year and look at next year's for meetups? No, mate. As soon as we're allowed, as soon as it can happen, we'll organise a clan meetup on the Patreon page. We'll get that done, definitely. But can't do that till we have all the restrictions lifted, because there'll no doubt be I'd say there'll be at least a dozen of us, at least. And then you've got hotels and everything like that. So I need a beer. So yeah, a little bit of time yet, but yeah, we'll get that done as soon as we can. Dickie V, Richie Vida. Oh, you handsome boy. How you doing, Rich? Johnny Hacken. Rich, I think there's going to be, this Wild Bad Weekender is set to be a stonker, mate, a stonker. So make sure that bar is well and truly stocked. Johnny Hackinson, if you're going through Sweden, don't miss the road between Hangfors and Apelbo. I've ridden most countries in Europe, including the UK. That road is the best. Awesome. Cheers, Johnny. The lad that's actually organising it, little Ed, he's the ex-bootneck, ex-marine. He lived in Sweden for like a couple of years, actually. His missus was stationed out there. So he's done quite a bit of exploring. So I'm sure Ed is a typical military guy and he plans everything down to the finest detail. So I'm sure he's researched and had that. But I will take note of that and drop it in his shell like to make sure he incorporates it. Mark Nitz, Alistair, Chipping Norton, mate. Oh, this is out in Cotswolds. Robert Aitken, has TMF not fitted you up with a butt plug yet, Bruce? He did offer, but you know, I politely declined. Johnny Hackinson, Richie, sorry, can't make the Wild Bad Weekender this year. Johnny, you're going to miss out, man. Everyone's there. Everyone. No vodka from me. Kevin Dodge, Bruce, have you done any vids with Royal Jordanian? No. I contacted him because I wanted him on the podcast, and he agreed to come on, but he was only going to give me half an hour, and I don't see the point. I don't see the point in that. He wanted a list of all the questions beforehand, and I just thought, no, that's not my cup of tea. It's not what the podcast is about. The podcast is a chilled out chat where, you know, you get the opportunity to really get to know me and to get my guests. You know, it's a chance for us just to have a chat with none of the sort of bull that goes around YouTube. You know, it's just two people having a chat. Half hour isn't long enough, and it just felt like he wanted it to be far too clinical and far too constrained by what he wanted. So I'm not up for that. It's a shame because, you know, I'd like to think he would be a lot of fun, but I didn't get that vibe. Mark Nix, Bruce, ever tried Garmin Verb cameras used for my road trips? I've not, no, but I know a couple of people that I used to work with who had them. Again, yeah, they're all right, they're good, but the video quality is just nowhere near as good as the GoPros, as the DJI Osmo. There's nothing else available. The Sony cameras, although they're 5-6 years old, they gave good quality video, especially considering a 5, 6, 7-year-old camera. But they're quite big and clunky. They produce massive file sizes. They're the ones Andy Mancam used to use. He's now gone to GoPro. That's the closest competitor for me. I did use DJI Osmo for a little while. A friend of mine who's sadly passed on now, he lent me his over a winter a couple of years ago, and I was impressed, but it just wasn't quite as good as the GoPro in my opinion. But yeah, the Garmin Verbs for things like dash cams and stuff, and you know, I know you can wire them up; they'll do the job. Obviously, I'm going to fly the flag for Inov because they're a channel sponsor, and I honestly think they're a great little system. You know, once they're wired in, you don't need to worry about it. It's all there. But I know you can do that with the Garmin Verb. So, Martin Yoxall, I'm off shortly. Josie's online spending bike money on horse boxes. Need a diversion. All right, dude. I will see you and Josie on Tuesday. So, cheers, Martin. Look after yourself. Mad Leprechaun, have you watched Richie Vida's video from tonight? He has news on the microphone. Yeah, I just watched that earlier today. That's the one where an audio pal of his sent him a mic and some settings, wasn't it? I need to chat with Rich and see if he's discovered what I've discovered, in which case it's going to be a race to get the video out. Mark Vaughan, do you still have discount codes for Moto? No, mate, I don't. They expired at the end of December, so I don't have any more at the moment. I've not done much posting at all around Moto on social media, because I've not been out on a bike, so I've had nothing to post. So I kind of feel a bit cheeky asking them for more codes at the moment. Obviously, as of tomorrow, restrictions have lifted somewhat, so I will be out and about a lot more. Maybe not going to be doing the bike review type stuff. I'll just be out on my own bike and doing some rides and stuff. I'm moving the channel. I'm trying to move the channel more to how we create these vids rather than just, bike review after bike review after bike review, because to be perfectly honest, it does nothing for me. And I'm getting really pissed off with just this trend at the moment to regurgitate the PR material that manufacturers send, and it's made me quite skeptical and left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, to be perfectly honest with you. It just doesn't do anything for me, So I'm going to be doing more about how do we create these vids? How do we get the sound? How do we do the different shots? What's the thinking behind it? Kit reviews, but more of the cameras and the microphones and sound recorders, editing processes, all that sort of stuff. That's what I think I'm probably going to start focusing on. But you people are, at the end of the day, are the users. You're the people that are watching the vids. So if you're not interested in any of that stuff, I'd appreciate you letting me know, because there's no point in me creating these vids if no one's going to watch them. So let me know what you think. Mark Fulcher, can we make the clan meet up in the north, Peaks, Moors, Lakes? Yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to be going, actually. Probably back up to the Lake District, seeing as sort of missed out on that the last time Care of the Pheasant. Mark Vaughan, also, have you ever considered doing the TET? I have. Yes, I have, and it's been spoken about in some other circles as well. So that is something. I don't want to pee on someone's chips, but there is another moto vlogger who's talking about doing something around that, and I might join them for a section of it. So again, watch this space and see. Kevin Dodds, I only asked as I've been skimming through his vids. Don't worry, I'm still clan faithful. Oh, is that the Royal Jordanian? Again, his vids are, I could never figure out how they would get like 1 million views with somebody that's just riding around London revving his engine. But I watch the vids and I'm compelled. I watch them. So they obviously do something, don't they? Bit annoying, as I used to commute in and out of London every blooming day, and I used to be stood on post at work at some of the embassies and consulates, and you'd see Royal Jordanian go by. Kevin Dodds, oh no, we've already done that one. Biker España, I was looking at doing the Wild Bad event this year. It looks like a laugh, but restrictions will probably be an issue. Hopefully next year. Yeah, Chris, what's the crack over in Spain at the moment then? What are they saying about tourism from the UK in particular? Because there's nothing really been said over here apart from you're going to get fined or thrown in jail if you go abroad until some point. I don't know when that end point is. I'm assuming it's until restrictions are all lifted. 24 Charlie, with the limited time you've had with the Rucker gear, how are you finding them? Simo, I absolutely love that Rucker kit. I spent my own money on that. It took me like nearly $2,000 for that suit, and I still stand by it. I think it's the best investment in kit I've ever made. If you ride all through the winter, then people go on about Klim. I've never tried Klim, but it's probably equally as expensive. I know other people have mentioned Dickie Vegas has the Risha stuff. I think TMF has had some of the Risha stuff. I've never used any of that. But my experience with other kit, cheaper kit, it's never been 100% waterproof. The water has always got in at some point. So far, with that Rucker stuff, I've been snug as a bug in a rug. Literally, I rode to Wales to do some pre-filming stuff, promo stuff for the Motorbike TV show, and it was -5 when I left, and I'm riding in the snow and the ice. I had a t-shirt on and then the Rucker kit, so the Rucker lining that comes with it, and the Rucker jacket over the top. I was toasty warm, and I was stone dry. Brilliant stuff. I don't know how it's going to fare in the heat of the summer. It's got some vents on it, but we'll see. But I mean, I can wear summer kit for that, can't I? Johnny Hackinson, I'm drunk and have to work tomorrow. I'll go and pass out. Cheers, Johnny. Look after yourself, pal. Thank you very much for bearing with me at the start. Mark next, TMF for bike reviews, you for the more fun side of getting out there. Cheers, Mark. Thank you. Mad Leprechaun, can you tell us what you discovered about the GoPro? Audio's been a pain, or do I have to wait to see your video? You're going to have to wait to see the video, Mark. It's not a long video. It literally, I think the whole vid's about 6 minutes, and 4 minutes of that is me waffling shite. So it's a really quick fix, and it works. You will get to see that vid probably Wednesday, Thursday. I'll post that on Patreon, so it's coming. Tony Hannum, August, we can fly. Ah, is it? Cool. Oh, that'll be good. That'll be good. Travel abroad, just get an exemption like me. Fulch. Yeah, you're working, aren't you, Fulch? Listen to Flyer, I'm with Bruce Mark. Bike reviews are a necessary evil. I'd rather be on tour or vlogging personally. Yeah, it's I'm not just saying this because you're on here, TMF. I've said it when you're not here. I have got so much more respect for the work ethic that you have that I now do this full time, because there was a stage you were chucking a vid out like one every 2 or 3 days. I have got no idea how you did that. No idea. You ground that out for a couple of years. That's phenomenal. I'm sort of flat out at the moment, and I'm chucking out 2 vids and a podcast. That's it. Ben Farmer, pound signs. What's that? Because of the Rucker kit. It is, but then I bought mine. I've bought mine through 0% finance with Infinity. So, it's just 70 odd quid a month, I think. Pete English, Bruce, see if we can borrow you a little bullet. We can do North Yorkshire together on them. It would be a giggle. I've seen that, Pete, on your Instagram. Pete's just bought a little bullet bike. It's beautiful, gorgeous little thing. Ben Farmer, how is the RST stuff? I haven't had RST stuff. Have I had RST stuff? No, I've never had RST stuff. Oh, I wore RST out at Toro. Toro has the RST stuff. Really hot in Morocco, but it was 50 degrees, so it's going to be. In the winter, it was all right. I did get cold and a bit wet when it was raining there. Until I wore Rucker, I'd never experienced anything that kept me totally dry all the time. So I just kind of thought that was normal. Mark Fulcher, I'd buy RST stuff, just don't look as good as Zoe Turner. Yeah, Zoe's pretty special, isn't she? Mark Vaughan, the PR regurgitation videos put me off. I'd rather watch paint dry. I'm the same, Mark, but they get massive views, and everyone's doing them now. Everyone's doing them, Some people's channels are based on them, and they're doing fantastically well. So, what can you say? Mad Leprechaun, Pete English, brilliant idea. Is that the little bullet? I think that would be a giggle. I've got no connection with contacts with Bullet. I might explore that, Pete. We'll see what we can do. Big Alex, how about riding and giving your slant on the MCN test routes, Rutland TT, their 250-mile route, etc.? Yeah, could do. Yeah, I could do. Don't really want to go up against the likes of MCN though. Sheesh. Yeah, could do. Could give it a bash and see. But then you'll get people going, "Oh, that's just clickbait." Do you know what I mean? In the thumbnail, because you'll mention MCN or something, you'll just get slaughtered for it. But well, you get slaughtered for everything in this game. Rob Biggers Bignall, I agree with the review vids. When you go online and like the Trident, there must have been 10 up on the same day, and not one person found a bad thing to say. It does make you wonder how true they are. Rob, the issue with this is, mate, is none of them have ridden it. There might be 1 or 2 people there who've sat on the Trident, but all that happens is like the manufacturer sends 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, you get an email saying, not for public consumption until this date, this time, and then it can go live. But they send you a press pack that tells you all the PR blurb about the bike. It's got all the pictures and the video content. And then all that happens is people then use all that content and everything that's been told to them by the manufacturer. They create their video with their own little slant on it, and it's scheduled to go live at like a minute to that deadline. So by the time it goes live, and sends out the notifications to everyone that's rang the bell. It's now at the deadline, you know, and everyone can watch the vid. That's why they all come out at exactly the same time, because everyone's done the vid like a week beforehand. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Mark next, TMF, like the tour vids with Mrs. TMF. Yeah, they do really well, don't they? Yeah, I do like them. Mark Vaughan, hopefully it's earlier than August for us flying. I work at an airport and want to keep my job. Yeah, mate, that must be hard, man. Yeah, everyone that's based, I know for myself, you know, the tours form a considerable part of my budget plan. And let me have a little drink because my voice is going. Yeah, my tours form a big part of my income stream, my income plan. Obviously, there's none happened at all this year, so thankfully I'd had the foresight to save a little bit up before I jumped from the old bill, and I'm really glad I did, because that's managed to sort of keep me going this last year. But going forward, you know, I need to bring my tours back because I need to earn some money. So we'll see. It must be hard for anyone else that's based in the tourism industry at the moment. Oof. My only hope is that once the restrictions are eased, then, you know, people, it's like wacky races to get away. And even in the UK, people are holidaying in the UK and spending their money at the hotels and the B&Bs and the restaurants and the pubs, and hopefully we can breathe some life back into it. I am optimistic about it. I don't want to be foolishly optimistic, but I am optimistic about it. Missington Flyer, cheers Bruce. Thanks Andy, thank you very much for sticking by, pal, really appreciate it. Ben Farmer, leave the reviews to Chops and 44 Teeth. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm sort of thinking. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really enjoy just churning out a bike review after a bike review after a bike review. There's nothing to it, you know. It's not there's nothing to it. I think the way I do it, there's nothing to it, and I don't get much from it myself. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Ashley Wright, you can't beat laminated Gore-Tex. Yes, mate, I know. Yeah, I found that out. You pay for what you get, for sure. Ben Farmer, Toro, yes, that's what I saw. What with the RST suits? Yeah, that's what they use. Richie Vida, Brucey, Little Big 2.0, I'm ready when you are, as soon as we're allowed. And I'm not sure, but I think Fish is outside my office window now, revving his cup. Definitely, we are all itching to do 2.0. Big Little Adventure. It's Big Little Adventure, isn't it? Little Big Adventure? Big Little Adventure. I could never get that the right way around. Yeah, we are dying to do it. We have some ideas. They always poo-poo my ideas because mine involve like riding to Nordcap 150cc monkey bikes. But there are some other ideas, so watch this space. Ashley Wright, Bruce, I'd do the MCN route Rutland TT with you, as that's not far from me. I've done the Rutland TT actually. I did that, but it was snowing at the time. So yeah, I'd love to go back and do that, definitely. The wife and I are doing the South Coast in May, can't wait. Oh, beautiful. Where are you going then, Ashley? Whereabouts on the South Coast are you doing? The entire length of it, or where? Paul Creas, never done a festival before. Is the Wild Bad a good starting place? Absolutely. If you're not familiar with how Rich does it, in fact, if you're still on here, Rich, feel free to pipe up. But you meet on the Friday morning at the Departure Lounge, which is a petrol station that Rich uses all the time. So everyone meets up there. Then Rich takes you on this huge, big convoy. It was over, I think it was like 120, 150 bikes the last time we did it, or maybe even 200. But he takes us on a ride all around the peaks. You stop off at various places, and then at the end of the day, you end up arriving at the venue for the weekend. And there's a big marquee up there, and Richie's got food laid on. There's a bar there. There's a constant stream of live bands and things, and then he's got, you know, he does raffle giveaways, prize giveaways. There's auctions for kit to raise money for charity. There's loads of stuff. It was a real good giggle. Thoroughly recommend it. Tony Hannum, this time Bruce, don't be late. What's that? Oh yeah, I was characteristically late for the last Wild Bad Weekender. Mark Fulcher, Richie Vida, can you please confirm the correct way to say Alfreton, please? Is it Alfreton? Alfreton? I don't know. Kevin Dodds, on the topic of tours, Jeff Hill did a trip called the Gobbler's Knob from Chile to Alaska. Would you ever do such a thing? What, Chile to Alaska or the Gobbler's Knob? Well, yeah, that was part of my round the world trip. I'll mention that. We are an hour and a half in. That's a record. Yeah, on my world trip, that was part of it. It was to do the Pan American. I wanted to go all the way to Ushuaia, the southern tip of South America, and then ride all the way to Dead Horse, which is the very top of Alaska. So I did it up the Pan American, which runs up the west of South America through Chile, Peru, all those places. So I've done a big chunk of that already. Listening Flyer, not as late as Chopsy. That's because he's I'm not going to say it. Mark Fulcher has gobbled a few knobs. I bet you have, Mark. I bet you have. You're in Amsterdam anyway. Richie Vida, Mark Fulcher, you know I'm keen on this stuff. It's Alf written. Locals call it often. What, Alf often? Don't know. Matt Ward, no cat on a 50. I'm in. Let's do it, Matt. I'm up for it. I'd be up for it, definitely. If not a 50, then, you know, a little 125. Definitely. I think it'd be a great crack. Ashley Wright, this is your South Coast trip. Starting in Broadstairs, Hailing Island, Weymouth, St Austell, Newquay, Minehead, then heading back via Stratford upon Avon. Nice one. That'll be a nice little jaunt, that. Yeah, lovely. How do you plan your route? How have you planned your route for that? Have you, where is he? Have you used these, Ashley? Remember Simon Weir? He was on the podcast quite early on, I think. But there's the books that he's written. These are really good. There's some cracking roads and routes and stuff in there. I'll put them back up if you want to have a look. Bikers Britain, and then he's got one called The Tours. Well worth having a look at. Oh. And one other thing, Mark Fulcher, are these your books? I've got these books, but I can't remember where they came from. Are they yours, Mark Fulcher? Sorry, folks. A little bit of admin. Mark Fulcher, Richie Reader, thanks. I've always called it often and get looked at strange. Well, you know, to be fair, Mark, I think, check the mirror. Richie Reader, Bruce, stop it with the Nordcat 50cc, Tosh. Does that mean you're doing it then, Rich? Let's do it. Ashley Wright, Kalimoto. Oh, wow. Watch Kalimoto when you get down into the southwest. Do not put it on the twisty option in the southwest because it will send you up goat tracks. Use believe it or not, when you get somewhere that's proper rural, I found with Kalimoto, set it on the straight road or the next twisty option, but only use those two when you're somewhere really rural. Otherwise, it will send you up goat tracks. Matt Ward, definitely let me know when. Absolutely, man. I think that would be a great crack. Great crack. Ashley Wright, yes, mate, I've got those brilliant books. Top stuff. Mark Vaughan, Richie V, you must have some contacts at Honda for some monkey bikes. Yeah, I know, you must do. Rich, come on, get us some monkey bikes and let's do Nordcap. Mark Folger, yes, they are. Awesome. Right, I've got them. I'll make sure I don't give them to Mrs. Teapot to sell. Richie Vida, Bruce, looking well, mate. Any chance of a twirl? Certainly. It's just for you, Rich. Keep that in the bank, mate. Keep that in the bank. Richie Vida, Mark Fulcher, I've sold enough ATs for them. I hope I'd get anything I ever ask for. Ashley, right, great. Thanks for the advice, pal. No bother, Ash. No worries at all. Kev Dodds, I've got a Bikers Britain tour I bought 5 years ago before the wife got pregnant. Sadly, never got a look in the books. Or, of course, any trips away. They're well worth doing, Kev, honestly. I was going north up to my brother's in Scotland. Excuse me. So I need more beer, my voice is going. Yeah, when I was riding up to Scotland last time, I thought, well, I'm not just going to sit on the motorway because it's boring as sin. So I used Simon's books to plot a route all the way without touching the motorway. And it was only a couple of hours longer than if I'd sat on the motorway. And I had a great day. I saw so much of the country I'd never seen before. And it was great fun. Missing the Flyer, I've just been sick in my mouth. Was it this? I thought you were going anyway, TMF. Richie Vida, +1 for any of Simon Weir's work. Yeah, definitely. You slept with him, didn't you, Rich? Yeah, that's right, I forgot. Neil Evans, you love it, Andy. He does. You should see what he tries to. He keeps trying to touch me every time we go away on bike weekends. He's a total deviant, that man. Right, we're coming to the end of the chat there. How are people doing for time? We are 1 hour 34. Do you want to carry on, or have you had enough? Is there anything you want to chat about? Let me know. Mark Fulcher, yes please, don't let Nicky take them to the car boot with Uncle Mick. Now that it's going to be a downside of lockdown ending. Bloody car boot. Tell me about it. I know, but to be honest, I think Nicky's seen how much tosh she's stored up, so I'm quite looking forward to the car boots. I know for everything that she sells, there'll be 2 things coming back, but you know, oh well. Keeps her out my hair, doesn't it? Rob Biggers Bignall, Southwest goat tracks are great on my Africa Twin. Bought it before Richie got his. So sorry, Rich, no kickback. Missenden Flyer, line of duties on NMO. Mad Leprechaun, is it too early to mention sidecar? Just joking, I'm off to bed. It's been an emotional night, people. Mart, I keep telling you, I will do it. I promise you, I'll do it. Mart has a sidecar, people, and he wants to get me over there on his sidecar. So it will happen. All right, bud, look after yourself. Kevin Dodds, the beer's kicking in because you seem to be loosening up a bit. It was a bit of a stressful start, man. I couldn't believe that. All day, I tested all this earlier today and it worked a charm. I was thinking happy days. And then literally as soon as I hit go live, it shut itself. 24 Charlie, more. Cool. We'll keep going then. Brian Tucker, any big names in line for upcoming podcasts? Yes, I've got a couple of repeat performers again. I've got Vanessa Ruck, Girl on a Bike. She's coming back on. She has to come back on, actually. So she's coming back on. I have Steve from A Bike Thing. Don't know if you watch that channel. Steve sort of specialises in installation vids for predominantly GSs. He puts a lot of the Denali kit on there. He's now stocking Innov. He does exhausts. Basically, he tricks up bikes, particularly GSs. So he's coming on for a chat. And then after that, I've got Spencer Conway and Kathy Nell. So if any of you are aware of those two, they are a couple of maniacs, 2 of the nicest people you will ever meet. But they are like lifelong travellers, motorcycle overlanders. They're currently out in Mexico at the moment. They were trying to cross the Darien Gap, but then COVID hit. So that's kiboshed their plans there. But they are a great couple. Really obscure, really funny. And I can't wait to have them coming on. I am, at the moment, trying to turn the screw with Tim Peake to get Tim Peake on, but he's not having any of it. I've not had any reply at all from him, but we'll get there. We'll see how we get. I think I'll get Tim on eventually, but it's going to take some time. Who else? Can't remember who else. I'm sort of, you have to sort of cast your net out far and wide way in advance, because some things, you know, some people take quite a while to build up a bit of a relationship with, you know, some dialogue with, enough for them to sort of trust you to come on. Because it's, you think about it, you know, when you agree to come on a podcast, especially with someone you don't know what are they going to be like. You don't know, you know, how probing are the questions going to be. Are you going to, are they looking to sabotage you? You know, it's a lot of trust involved there. I've done a few podcasts as a guest myself, and it is a little bit nerve-wracking because you've got no control over it once you do a podcast. You know, it's literally, it's almost like it's live, because once you've said it, it's down to their grace as to whether or not they edit the video, delete anything. It's all out there, isn't it? So I appreciate, I've tried to get Navesy on, you know, from MCN, but he didn't want to play. Tried to get Adam Chad on. He didn't want to play. Trying to get Moby, the editor of MCN, on. See how we get on there. We'll see. There's a few names lined up. Right, who else we got here? Mark Fulcher, right, up early to fix some windmills. Take care, people. Stay safe and shiny side up. Cheers, Mark. You look after yourself, mate. Take it easy up there and stay safe, all right? Mark Vaughan, I miss my sidecar. I'm always thinking of getting another. I've never ridden one. Never ridden in one, and I've never ridden one. So I'm looking forward to it. 2-4 Charlie, I'm off out tomorrow round the Peak District with a couple of mates. Snake Pass, Woodhead Pass. I'm like a coiled spring. I bet you are, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's going to be good. Take it easy tomorrow, man. Take it easy. There's going to be so many people out on their bikes who've just not ridden in so long. So everyone, take it easy. Please, be safe. Says me. Watch out for those pheasants. Alistair Christie, we're off. Thanks, Bruce. Cheers, Alistair. You look after yourself, mate. Appreciate you sticking by. Neil Hamilton, Steve's brilliant. Oh, the bike, from a bike thing. Yeah, he is. Seems a good lad. Just had chats with him on messages so far. David Clawton, how do I get a ticket to the Wild Bad Weekend and when is it, please? I'm not sure if it's totally sold out, but if you just type in Wild Bad Weekender in Google, so it's Wild Bad, WILDBAD, Wild Bad Weekender 2021. Type that in Google and that'll take you to their website and that tells you the dates, June sometime, I think it's June or July. And if there's any tickets available, they'll be on the website there. Rich, if you're still here, mate, can you let folk know if there's tickets or not, please? I don't know if you're still here. Kevin Dodds, Bruce, sent you a message on Patreon regarding our chat on the NC 500. Nice one. Cheers, Kevin. I'll check that out later, Paul. Mark Nix, need to do the washing up, so I'll say good night. Cheers, Mark. Thanks very much for sticking with me, mate. Appreciate you having the patience at the start. Paul Webb, hi Bruce, you need to push Tim Peake to appear on the podcast. What a chat that would be. And he's a keen biker. Who knew? He is, yes, he's a Triumph ambassador. He's actually mates, believe it or not, he's mates with my brother. That's how the Tim Peake thing initially came around. But I've never personally spoken with him as yet. So I've seen a couple of people have been tagging Tim Peake on Facebook and on Instagram about coming on the podcast. So I've sort of tried to jump on the back of that to say, yep, definitely, I'm well up for chatting with you. But there's nothing yet. I'll drop him a line during the week. Rob Biggers Bignall, line of duty time. Thanks for the live chat, Bruce. Ride safe, stay safe. And you, bud. Look after yourself, mate. All right, take it easy. Ashley Wright, love the podcast, mate. Makes my Wednesday. Cheers, Ashley. Thank you very much. It's doing all right, the old podcast. I had a little break over Christmas, New Year there, and it seemed to really hammer the podcast and the video, the analytics. Like the podcast went from, getting 2,500, 3,000 downloads an episode every week, which, believe it or not, for a podcast is really good. That puts you in the top 10% globally. Believe it or not, there's a massive jump between the top 10 and the top 5. And it went from that to it just dropped away. So I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? But it's coming back now, thankfully. And I think moving the vids onto its own channel like this, that's helped massively because the main channel started to pick up now that I've moved everything across here. So we'll see. That little bullet, Pete English, that little bullet has made me feel 16 again. I've not rode the GS since I bought it. Seriously, I'll be putting that right very soon. Grundleford breakfast with the rich. Wow, that's a sign, isn't it? If you're taking, I know it's new, but it does look fun. The little bullet looks beautiful as well. Steve Spencer, Bruce, just messaged you on Patreon for potential guest suggestion. Nice one, cheers, Steve. I'll check that out once we're finished here. Will Carroll, Sam Mannequin, Part 3, a gentleman. Night all. Cheers, Will. Thanks very much for sticking by. Sam will definitely be back on. He really enjoys the podcast, and I love chatting with him, so he will definitely come back on. Look after yourself, Will. Take it easy. Yeah, folks, if you've got ideas for guests, then by all means, just drop me a line, whether it's through Patreon or through any of the social media, or just email info@TeapotOne. Just let me know. I'm all ears for guests. They don't necessarily need to be bike orientated. The whole podcast is all about the live your life vibe. So it's anyone that's got a story to tell. I'd love to chat with them. Jeez, it's about 1,000,000 degrees in here. Right, I think all the questions seem to be drying up. How many we got? Oh, we've only got 34 of us left on here. I'm bored everyone to tears. $1 Million Bogan. Do you know, he actually is, he subscribed to the main channel, and I did drop him a few lines before that about coming on the podcast. I know he's quite a contentious character, but I think he'd be quite interesting to chat to. Could go one or two ways, couldn't it? I think he is in the Australia Big Brother house at the moment. So when he comes out, I'll see if we can get him on. Johnny Hackinson tried Pedro Mota. Who's that? I've never heard of Pedro Mota. Well, I'll check that out then, Johnny. I don't know who that is. Kevin Dodge, thanks for the company tonight, folks. Keep the shiny side up. When our local lockdown on the island ends, the end of April, we'll start vlogging on my channel again. Night all, Dodgy. Cheers, Kevin. You look after yourself, mate. And yeah, check the channel out. Feel free to put a little link down below if you want, bud. Yeah, Pedro Mota. I don't know who that is. I was going to say something there, and I've totally forgotten what it was. Yeah, I can't remember. Right, folks. I think we call it quits now. Then that's best part of 2 hours, an hour and 3/4. Again, apologies about the catastrophe at the start, but we got there. We got there eventually. Ashley, right, night, mate. Take care. And you, bud. You look after yourself, folks. What will I say? Well, we can continue this anyway on the Patreon side anyway. If you're listening to this and you're not a Patreon, folks, feel free to check it out, patreon.com/TeapotOne. You don't have to, but it just means you can participate in these live Q&A things, and we do clan meetups, and you get early access to events and things like that. And it does help me massively personally, but you'll still get the content either way for free eventually on the main channel. Right, folks, look after yourselves. Keep on doing your thing. Look after those that you love. Please take it easy on the bikes when we all get free. If you're heading out tomorrow or later on in the week, take it easy to begin with. Dial yourself back in. You might be all right, but there's going to be a lot of idiots out there. So stay safe. Look after those that you love. Get on out there, do your thing. But most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha! Night, peeps. Take it easy, folks. Cheers for now. And thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it.